Welcome to TV Anthology Reviews. We will be covering episodes 19 through 21 of Season 1 of Monsters. You can watch all of Season 1 on imdb.com under Tubi. Episode 19, Rain Dance. A rich couple is living in a small town in the desert, and there is a drought. Maybe they have something to do with the fact that there is no water, since the character Tom makes his living ripping off the locals and selling their heirlooms to rich investors. They are a reverse parallel universe Robin Hood. They steal from the poor and sell to the rich. While this is immoral, you would think this would make them rich, but they fall into that ever-present trap of keeping up with the Joneses. No matter how rich they get, they compare themselves to their friends who have more money, cars, and most importantly, jewelry.
Why can't you do something respectable like Bill?
Like Bill? Vanessa, he's on trial for insider trading. He's a criminal.
He's a white-collar criminal.
Oh, great!
This leads to them taking big chances, like living in the desert in a small house with no air conditioner, thinking if they just rip off enough people and buy enough stuff, they will be happy. The townsfolk have gotten tired of these tactics and decide to sell them one last family heirloom, sure to bring true happiness. They have some unusual pillow talk.
And then we'll sail to Jamaica or some tropical island where the economy's collapsing. Laying in the sun, soaking up a tan, huh? Listening to the waves, being waited on hand and foot by the natives, and buying up all their heirlooms.
Is this the part where I discuss colonization? Rain Dance has a reddish-yellow tint, making it clear that there is a drought and they are living in the desert. Another episode from Season 3, The Hole, used a similar yellowish tint filter to convey the hotness of the location. This works well and makes the episode look more modern. The best part of the episode is the monster. It starts out as a stone statue gifted to the couple, but in true Monsters fashion, it comes alive and terrorizes them. The stone crunching and movement, especially when he sits up, is top-notch. The statue attacks Vanessa, Tom's wife, first. And just to add insult to injury, the statue gives the character Vanessa a bad skin condition, putting her vanity on full display. The statue doesn't so much kill them as use the Medusa stare and turn them into the prized possessions that they spent so many years stealing and selling. 6 out of 10. They have a good ending, but I think they gloss over it too fast. Once you rewatch it a few times, you can catch that it all ties together nicely, but man, they ended a little abruptly. At least we own pause buttons in 2023. Episode 20, Cocoon. This one starts like a Law and Order episode. A woman is entered into a hospital after a horrible car accident, but oddly, the woman doesn't seem too hurt, despite being in a Lamborghini going 75 miles per hour and being crushed in between a truck. She does have $5,000 in cash, some blank checks and diamonds, but mysteriously, no ID. A policeman named Richard, played by Billy Drago, is keeping an eye on her, intrigued by her beauty and money. He has a way to help the girl. He uses a psychic, of course, to help the girl in the car accident get back her lost memory. The relationship status between Richard and the psychic Sarah is complicated.
The girl gets like attached or something, and they like see it like it's gonna lead to a relationship, and it's always not. And it's just like, that's like my biggest thing is like I just hate the whole like how like talking stages are so like normalized. Like traditional dating does not exist in this generation.
Yes, indeed, random girl on TikTok. This is a mistake our friend Richard makes, thinking he can have his cake and eat it too. Doesn't he know you can't lie to a psychic? Something that will hurt him later on.
Tell me something. You two are close. Are you lovers?
We see each other. We're not married.
What does that mean?
Means we don't have a lifetime commitment.
Good. Then we can talk about us.
Richard is a man of the law, but he is human like all of us, so when he gets a slight chance to cheat on his psychic, talking stage girlfriend with a younger, more attractive model, he jumps on it. Madeline, the girl in the car accident, weaves a web of seduction and catches Richard in her trap. The psychic then reads Madeline's mind and sees visions of her past by touching her soft blonde hair. We get flashback scenes that are cool, but are accompanied by annoying white flashes that I won't show here. We see she was an Egyptian queen, a royal, and other various portrayals of her past lives. Once a lifetime, Madeline has to find men to lure into her cocoon and drain them of their life. After feeding, she can maintain her youth and take their money. She tends to target rich men. In turn, she gets to maintain her youth and live forever. She does have a weakness. Her strength is in her hair, and if she loses that, she gets old. They make a reference to the biblical story about Samson. The psychic gets other visions, this time of Richard getting freaky inside of Madeline's cocoon. One thing that sticks out immediately is you can't see very much for a good part of the episode. Somebody forgot to plug in the lights. It's a hospital, not a cave. This is made to make it look creepy, but it just makes it hard to see what's going on sometimes. This one has an effective scene where we see that the psychic Sarah has cut off all the hair of Madeline, turning her into an old woman. Finally, the darkness of this episode is effective as the lights strobe and Richard stumbles upon a monster that resembles nothing like the beautiful woman he hooked up with. Cocoon leaves enough to interpretation while still being comprehensible. The monster itself is original. It's hard to categorize what Madeline is. She spins a web and sucks the life out of men for eternal life, and her strength is her hair. They combined a few different monsters into one, and I like it. With a title like Cocoon, it leads you to believe she's going to be a spider, but this title is more original than that. 7 out of 10. Cocoon was written by Edith Swenson. She wrote 6 Monsters episodes of varying quality, and of course, 10 Tales from the Dark Side episodes. There's a reason I'm going to review Tales from the Dark Side after I finish Monsters, because they have so much in common. She also penned the most controversial episode, Household Gods, which feels like it was written in the 1700s. We will get to that one in Season 3, but its moral is, women should stay in the kitchen. No, I'm not kidding. The episode is about how women shouldn't ever have jobs. Unless you're Edith Swenson, in which case, I guess it's okay to have a job. They set the scene by letting you know the location of this episode will be a dirty, claustrophobic New York City apartment. Just like New York Honey, we will be getting some great Brooklyn 80s accents in this one as well. This episode revolves around a doppelganger, a double if you will. So the character Steve goes to a herbalist to get rid of his double that is following him around. The scenery is drab and it's another one-room location, but unlike something like Pool Sharks, it's claustrophobic and has nothing visually interesting. The herbalist Fiona is played by Adrienne Barbeau. Her performance here is nothing special, but her resume is quite stacked. And of course, she was in the classic Cannibal Women in the Avocado Jungle of Death with Shannon Tweed and Bill Maher. Wow, didn't expect that. You learn something new every day. Steven's doppelganger follows him to the apartment, but because it doesn't really tell us what the threat his double poses, it's hard to feel any fear from it. It's just an exact replica of Steven, who walks outside the apartment. We learn the doppelganger is coming for Fiona's child Ian. Once again, I'm not feeling the tension or scares. Fiona summons a demon of her own to fight the doppelganger, and we get this guy.
What do you want, woman?
Andrew Dice Lame. The teleplay is by Jules Selbo, who also wrote the next episode, Satan in the Suburbs. She wrote 3 Monsters episodes in total. These 2 and one from Season 2, Mr. Schwalber.
I'm a schlabber.
That's what I said, Mr. Schwalber.
I'm a schlabber.
Okay, never mind. Her monster episodes aren't the best, but really it's her Tales from the Dark Side episodes that will drive me crazy. She did 9 Tales from the Dark Side episodes, and they are all bad. It seems she was brought in to do the funny episodes. Her style is very kids-friendly and light, with very talkative, annoying characters. So, I will be nice for now, but wow, I'm getting flashbacks from some of those Tales from the Dark Side episodes. And the character Fiona summons, this guy, is exactly the type of characters she always writes. We get a view of the monster. It's almost like they got the dimensions wrong. Isn't this thing supposed to be bigger? It barely moves, and they don't have stop-motion animation, like they will use in other episodes we will cover like Mannequins of Horror. This is just a plastic, couple-inch tall McDonald's toy. No movement or animation. Disappointing. After Fiona summons the demon, we have an epic demon battle that puts Attack on Titan to shame. Just kidding, they just stand around in the drab apartment. We actually don't really even see the Doppelganger again.
Yeah, I'll fix you. Fix you real good.
Please tell me that was a Devo reference. 3 out of 10. I don't like this episode, and I think I've explained why. Alright, let's move on to a positive review. Alright, this guy gave it 8 out of 10. The episode gets a little strange and far out. Still, it's entertaining and a good one from Season 1, due to Adrienne Barbeau. The effects are also eye-catching from this episode. In the next video, we're going to do 3 more episodes and finish up Season 1.